victim.
You feel threatened by the murder.
What am I supposed to do?
If there is some freaked out psycho, they're probably already in your life.
So you just want to sit here and wait to see who drops next?
Scream 2 continues the chilling legacy of the original story by exploring what happens after survival, when trauma refuses to fade and fear evolves into something smarter, crueler, and more self-aware. The film builds on the idea that horror does not end when the killer is defeated. Instead, it mutates, feeding on fame, media attention, and the human desire to turn tragedy into entertainment. This sequel leans deeper into self-awareness, using the rules of horror sequels themselves as part of the tension, while still delivering genuine suspense and brutal surprises. It captures a world where violence becomes spectacle and survival comes with a heavy psychological cost. The story takes place after the Woodsboro murders, with the events of the first film already turned into pop culture. A movie based on the killings has been released, transforming real pain into entertainment. This creates an unsettling backdrop where the line between fiction and reality feels dangerously thin. The narrative uses this idea to explore how society consumes horror, how fame can grow from tragedy, and how killers can hide behind masks of irony and imitation. From the opening moments, the tone makes it clear that this is not just a repeat of the past, but an escalation into a more public, more dangerous stage. At the center of the film is Sidney Prescott, now trying to rebuild her life while attending college. She is no longer the innocent victim she once was, but a survivor carrying deep emotional scars. Her struggle is not just about staying alive, but about reclaiming control over her identity after being defined by violence. College is meant to be a fresh start, yet the past follows her relentlessly. The fear that once haunted small-town streets now invades crowded theaters, classrooms, and dorm halls, proving that nowhere truly feels safe. Sidney's emotional journey is a core strength of the film. She is cautious, guarded, and emotionally exhausted, trying to balance normal life with constant vigilance. Relationships are harder to trust, and every new connection carries the weight of suspicion. Her trauma is portrayed not as something that disappears with time, but as something that reshapes how she sees the world. This grounded portrayal adds depth to the horror, making the danger feel personal rather than abstract. Returning alongside Sidney is Gale Weathers, whose ambition and hunger for truth remain as sharp as ever. Gale's character continues to walk the line between journalist and opportunist, driven by the desire to stay relevant while also seeking justice. Her dynamic with Dewey Riley brings moments of warmth and tension, offering brief emotional relief amid the chaos. Dewey, still recovering from his own wounds, represents loyalty and quiet courage, stepping back into danger not for fame but to protect those he cares about. The cast expands with a new group of college students, who quickly become entangled in the unfolding nightmare. These characters serve multiple purposes. They reflect modern horror tropes, provide emotional stakes, and act as potential suspects. Each one feels deliberately constructed to keep the audience guessing. Their personalities, relationships, and reactions to fear add layers of unpredictability, reinforcing the idea that anyone could be hiding something deadly behind a friendly face. The killings begin in a shocking and public way, setting the tone for a sequel that is more brutal and more exposed than before. Violence no longer hides in shadows. It erupts in places meant for safety and entertainment. This shift amplifies the terror, showing how chaos can thrive in crowded spaces where people feel secure. The killer's methods echo the original murders while introducing new twists, suggesting someone who understands the past intimately and knows how to exploit expectations. As the body count rises, paranoia becomes the film's driving force. Characters constantly question one another's motives, replay conversations in their minds, and search for hidden meanings in ordinary behavior. Trust erodes rapidly, replaced by fear and self-preservation. This atmosphere keeps tension high even in quiet scenes, as danger feels ever-present rather than confined to moments of attack. One of the most distinctive aspects of the film is how it openly discusses the rules of sequels. Characters debate how follow-ups escalate stakes, increase violence, and often become darker than their predecessors. These conversations serve as both commentary and warning, hinting that survival will not come easily this time. By acknowledging these rules, the film invites the audience to feel clever while simultaneously subverting expectations. Making each twist land with greater impact, the mystery unfolds gradually, layering clues and misdirection without rushing to easy answers. Red herrings are planted carefully, drawing suspicion toward multiple characters. The film resists the urge to reveal its secrets too early, allowing tension to build through uncertainty. Each death feels like a piece of a larger puzzle, pushing the narrative toward an inevitable yet shocking conclusion. Emotionally, the story deepens by exploring grief and guilt. Characters who survive the original events are forced to confront the reality that survival does not equal victory. The loss of friends, the weight of memory, and the fear of repetition hang heavily over them. These themes give the sequel emotional resonance beyond its scares, grounding the horror in real psychological consequences. The setting of a college campus plays a crucial role in amplifying fear. Unlike the isolated homes of the original story, this environment is busy, open, and filled with strangers. This shift reinforces the idea that danger can hide anywhere, even in plain sight. Dorm rooms, lecture halls, and public walkways become stages for suspense, transforming familiar spaces into sources of anxiety. Visually, the film maintains a polished yet unsettling style. Lighting and camera movement emphasize isolation even within crowds, often framing characters alone despite being surrounded by people. The use of masks, mirrors, and reflections reinforces themes of identity and deception. Violence is quick and brutal, designed to shock rather than linger, which keeps the pacing tight and the tension relentless. The soundtrack and sound design heighten the atmosphere without overpowering it. Sudden silences, sharp musical cues, and ambient noise work together to keep viewers on edge. The film understands when to let quiet moments breathe and when to strike with sudden intensity, creating an effective rhythm of anticipation and release. As the story approaches its climax, revelations begin to surface that tie back to unresolved emotions and hidden motivations. The killer's identity is rooted in personal grievance rather than random madness, reinforcing the franchise's focus on revenge and obsession. The confrontation forces Sidney to face not just another attacker, but the ongoing legacy of violence that has shaped her life. The final act is tense and emotionally charged, blending physical danger with psychological confrontation. Survival once again depends on quick thinking, resilience, and the willingness to confront painful truths. The resolution delivers closure while still acknowledging that scars remain, both physically and emotionally. In terms of overview, Scream 2 functions as both continuation and commentary, expanding the universe while examining the consequences of turning horror into entertainment. It respects the intelligence of its audience, blending satire with genuine fear. Rather than relying solely on shock value, it builds suspense through character atmosphere and thematic depth. The cast plays a vital role in the film's success, with returning performers delivering more layered, emotionally grounded portrayals. New additions bring energy and unpredictability, keeping the ensemble dynamic and engaging. Performances balance humor, fear, and vulnerability, ensuring that the stakes feel real even amid self-aware dialogue. The plot carefully balances mystery and meta-horror, allowing viewers to enjoy both the puzzle and the commentary. Each twist feels earned, and the narrative remains focused despite its expanding scope. The film avoids feeling repetitive by shifting its setting, deepening its characters, and embracing the idea that sequels must raise the emotional and narrative stakes. Regarding release, the film arrived after the success of its predecessor, carrying high expectations and intense anticipation. Its timing placed it within a cultural moment fascinated by media, celebrity, and violence, which the story directly reflects. The release reinforced the franchise's place in modern horror, proving that intelligent, self-aware storytelling could thrive alongside traditional scares. Trailer material for the film emphasized familiarity mixed with escalation, highlighting returning characters while teasing new dangers. The promotional approach leaned into suspense rather than revealing too much, focusing on atmosphere, mystery, and the idea that the rules had changed. This helped build excitement without undermining the story's surprises. Ultimately, Scream 2 stands as a sharp, confident sequel that understands both its genre and its audience. It explores fear not just as a reaction to violence, but as a lingering presence shaped by memory, media, and mistrust. By blending humor, horror, and emotional weight, it delivers a story that feels both entertaining and unsettling. The film reinforces the idea that survival is only the beginning, and that in a world obsessed with horror, the real nightmare may be how easily tragedy becomes spectacle.